Now that we finished the initial two lamps comes from the ceiling, I want to start and finish this one, which is a lamp that we see throughout the entire different scenes, and they are part of the wall. So let's start working with this one. So the first thing is to have a reference of the size of the lamp, probably. I think I could use a character, probably like this one. Let me move it to one position, like probably here. Let me reduce the speed of the camera to something that I can control a bit more. Excellent. And then open the modeling. And in the modeling, we're going to start with some simple square as it is presented here. And then we're going to add some geometry for it to make it look more like an hexagon at this moment. So take the box, and I think this box is pretty big at this moment. The proportion of this one should be something like probably height 30 centimeters. The probably a bit more, let's say 40 centimeters. And we want something in depth that will be around, I would say 2 centimeters. Yeah, good. And in height, in height we already have it. In width has to be like half of the height, so let's say 20. Let me move it to a position in the wall. Something like that. Excellent. And now let's try to stick it to this wall. I just want this character as a reference. I think is working at this moment. Let me check the reference here. Yep. Probably now by tens. Excellent. And probably later for a bit less. We'll figure it out. In depth, I'm going to add a depth, let's say to 3 centimeters. And I'm going to accept at this moment. I can move the character away. Excellent. The other thing is, as you can see here on the design, you see like it has kind of a shape of an hexagon. So it will be, instead of 4 sides, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In fact, it's an octagon. So to do that, what I will try to, where's the box? Where's my box? Oh, what I'm going to do is to take this structure and I'm going to make some changes to the geometry. Is it changes to the geometry? Now I need to create a couple of more loops to add the sides that I need. The procedure is select the object, go into polygroup, and select insert edge loops. Now, by default, the select edge loops allows you to create one or any default edge loop throughout the entire object. And this is not what I want because I can't control the distance from the corners. So I'm going to select, instead of the proportion offset, I'm going to select the even. And when you have the even selected, you can see that now the entire edge that is going to be created is going to be exactly in the middle of any position. And I can also say, I want, instead of just one, I want 2. And in this case, then they're going to create, select it, then they're going to create 2 subdivisions, which is closer to what I want this to do. So I'm going to select this one and accept. Let's go back to the structure. And as you can see, we could say, okay, we have an element on the top, an element on the bottom. Now, what are we going to do? It's very simple. Now that I have my geometry is changed, in fact, you can go to the attributes and you can inspect the geometry, and now you see that you have 3 sides on the top of this geometry of this object Now what I'm going to do is to model, edit polygroup. I'm going to select the one on the top and let's expand it. I would say probably by 5 centimeters is going to be more than enough. So yeah, 5. I think that 5 is the number. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom. And as you can see now, if we compare it with the original, this is pretty much the design that we are looking for. Now, the other thing is this has some kind of a small structure that gets with 2 tubes to this position. So let's go to them first. I would say that I wish to just create in fact, before going to the other structure, as you can see here, the geometry is kind of a fun. Is funny. It's destroying the geometry. When we add the materials here, it's going to be very messy. So in this case, we'll go to UVs. We're going to UV unwrap, and now I am going to accept. And the geometry is now working. So at the moment that you add a material or a texture, it's going to look right. Now let's add our next object, which is going to be a small box in front of this one. So I could say, let me move it away. No, that's okay. I think I can play with these values. In fact, I can accept this one. Let me go to the object, put in here. Excellent. This one, perfect. And now let's make some changes to this geometry. So let's go model polygroup. On the top, I'm going to move it. Let me move it by 5s. I want to be very precise on this one. So it's going to be something like this. And then let's move it on this side as well. Something like that. On this side as well, something like it. Excellent. And now this one. Probably a bit too thick. So let me reduce it just a little bit, maybe a couple of them. Yeah, I think it's looking good. Excellent. The next part is I need to get like some 2 kinds of tubes that will come from the center. So let's do that. I'm going to add on the crates. I'm going to put a couple of cylinders. So let me minimize it. First, the radials are going to be something around 8. I don't think that I will need more. The radius is going to be probably 1. And the how long this is going to be, definitely not 2 meters. It's going to be something like 20 centimeters. Let's see how this is looking. In fact, I think it's still too thick. So the radius, I'm going to move it to 0.5. Let me see. Much better. Probably 0.5. I'm going to move it to 0.6. I think it's better for me. Looking good. And this is the object that I want here. And now I wish to center this object based on this structure. So what I would do is select the object. Select the object and attach to. I want to attach it to here. And I'm going to center based on that one. So let's say 0, 0, 0. Good. That's in the center. Now I'm going to move it probably 1, 5. And now I am going to move it to the front like this. In fact, I'm going to put it a bit inside. Now I'm going to see this from the top and I want to rotate him just a little bit. In fact, I'm going to move it to one side because I think it has like two different in two sides. So let's say that, let me see if with the 5 can work. It's too much. First, I'm going to create a copy of this object. So Command D. And this is going to be exactly on the same position. 5, 0, and 2. So 5, 0, and 2. I needed it to be on the same position. Now, I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to move it 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take the other and move it 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now, I'm going to move it just 2. And now from the top, I am going to turn this one to, let me see, this position. I would say 30 degrees is going to be good. Or probably, let me see, 60. I think the 60 is the number. Yeah, and I'm going to take this one, same procedure, 60. So here we have them both. Excellent. So with this, I have the first part. Now let's go to the second. The second part is, as you can see here, we have some kind of candles in this structure. So I'm going to use another tool in this case.